Join Frank Alcini to uncover crucial
Hi there,
compliance
my name's Frank
necessities under
Alcini,
the
and
Corporate
welcome to
Transparency
our
Act.
series on the Corporate Transparency Act, or CTA as we're going to refer to it. Starting in 2024, the Corporate Transparency Act introduced new reporting requirements for businesses across the United States. If you're a business owner or involved in business compliance, this is something you'll want to pay attention to. The CTA is a new law passed to improve transparency in business ownership and to combat illegal activities like money laundering and tax evasion. But what does this mean for you? Well, most small businesses will need to report their beneficial owners. That is the individuals who own or control 25% or more of the entity directly or indirectly. But definitely something you want to pay attention to. Penalties for noncompliance can be steep, up to $10,000 in fines or even jail time. In the next few videos, we'll break down everything you need to know to make sure you're compliant with these new rules. So stay tuned to our 10-part video series. Thank you. Have a great day. Hello, everyone. I'm Frank Alcini, a CPA, tax reduction strategist and business advisor. Now let's talk about who needs to comply with the Corporate Transparency Act, or CTA. The CTA applies to most small businesses, including LLCs, corporations, and partnerships. If you're running one of these types of entities, you're most likely going to need to report your beneficial owners. But here's the catch. There are exceptions. If your business has more than 20 full-time employees, more than 5 million in gross receipts, or a physical office in the US, you may not be required. Additionally, certain trusts and government-owned entities are also exempt. For small business owners, it is essential to know where you stand. If your business fits this criteria, you'll need to file a beneficial ownership report. You can check the FinCEN website, as there are over 23 exceptions that you may qualify under to be exempt from reporting, but it's best to know that you are truly exempt. Not sure if this applies to your business? We're here to help, and stay tuned to the remainder of this video series. I can be contacted on the web at reitaxcpa.com, and looking forward to helping you determine your situation. Hello, everyone. Welcome to video 3 in my 10-part series on the Corporate Transparency Act. I'm Frank Alcini, a CPA, tax reduction strategist and business advisor. I'm doing this series on the Corporate Transparency Act and beneficial ownership, or BOI, filing requirements because I feel not enough people know about it, this requirement, and the deadline to report by December 31st, 2024. Let's get into what beneficial ownership actually means under the Corporate Transparency Act. Simply put, beneficial owner is any person who owns 25% more of a business or has significant control over it. This could be through voting rights, the ability to appoint directors, or direct control over business decisions. If multiple people meet this criteria, you'll need to report all of them. For example, if you're a CEO, major shareholder, or a key investor who controls more than a quarter of the business, you're considered a beneficial owner. Knowing who the beneficial owners are in your business is crucial to you at this time. So if you fall into this category, you'll need to report information to FinCEN as part of the CTA's filing requirement. Why is this important? The government wants to know who's really running the show to prevent financial crimes. Up next, we'll cover what information you need to gather to get this filing requirement taken care of by the end of the year. Stay with us, and as always, we can be reached on the web at reitaxcpa.com, and we're always here to help. Thank you. Ready to file your beneficial ownership report? We know that certain businesses need to report their beneficial owners, and hope you watch the previous videos to help you determine if you have a filing requirement. But when you actually sit down and file the report, what information do you actually need to submit? When you file your beneficial ownership report, you'll need to provide the following details for each of the beneficial owners: full name, date of birth, residential address, not the business address, the residential address of the owner, government issued ID number, like a passport or driver's license, and you will have to upload a copy if you file electronically online. And I always suggest that you have all that information readily available when you sit down, have it on your computer. And it's vital to get the information right, as errors could result in penalties, and the penalties for fraudulent reports are pretty severe. Hopefully, it's just an error and not a case of fraud. Make sure you've got all accurate details for individuals involved when you sit down. Hopefully, this is of helpful information to you. I'm doing this series on the Corporate Transparency Act and beneficial ownership filing requirements because I feel not enough people know about this requirement and the deadline by December 31st, 2024. So, hope the information helps. And if you have a friend or another business associate, feel free to pass these on to them because they may not know the information and the time and the filing requirement deadline. Look for the future videos in this series. Thank you. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of filing your beneficial ownership report. The process is simple, but it's important to follow each step to avoid mistakes. You'll want to go to the FinCEN website, or you can do a Google search for FinCEN BOI reporting. It usually comes up in the first option after the paid advertisements. Make sure that the website is boiefiling.fincen.gov. boiefiling.fincen.gov, and then it's going to give you an option to begin your BOI filing. So at that point, you're going to enter your company's information, fill out the details about your business and its business structure, and then you're going to click over to the company applicant tab. This is the person who's actually submitting the report. So for instance, if you're also an owner, you're going to include your information on company applicant, but then on the beneficial owner tab, you're going to enter your information on the beneficial owner tab. If you have more than one beneficial owner, there is an option to add additional beneficial owners at that time. And for each beneficial owner, that's where you're going to include the name, home address, and the identifying document that we had discussed in the previous video. And then the last step is going to be to verify your submission. You're going to want to double check everything. Once everything is complete and accurate, you're going to submit your form, and that's it. It's pretty straightforward, but the biggest thing is to be sure that you submit this report by the filing deadline to avoid any penalties. And again, the filing deadline is December 31st, 2024 for businesses that were in existence before 2024 or businesses that were started in 2024. Your filing deadline is 90 days after starting this. I'm doing this series on the Corporate Transparency Act and BOI filing requirements because I feel not enough businesses and people know about this deadline by the end of the year with these pretty harsh penalties, and hope this is helpful to you and your situation. Thank you. Have a great day. Deadlines for filing your beneficial ownership information report. Deadlines for filing are critical when it comes to compliance. If your business was registered before January 1st, 2024, you have until January 1, 2025, according to the law, to file till the end of the year. So effectively get it filed by December 31st, 2024 to file your report. For entities registered after January 1, 2024, you'll have 90 days. This was previously 30 days when it was originally passed. They did extend it to 90 days. So all new businesses have 90 days to file. Those of you that start businesses after December 31st, 2024, you'll be back to the 30-day filing period. Missing those deadlines can lead to hefty fines. So mark your calendars and set reminders. And like I'm advising people, make sure you get this filed sooner rather than later. Here we are approaching the end of 2024, and I anticipate that the system's probably going to have some hangups toward the end of the year. So if you see this video, you're going to want to get on getting your filing compliance done. I would anticipate between Christmas and New Year's, when a lot of people file, the system could potentially have crashes. Hope this information helps and look forward to helping you in the next video. Have a great day. Corporate Transparency Act penalties for non-compliance. What happens if you don't comply with the Corporate Transparency Act and file your beneficial ownership information reports? Well, great question. The penalties can be steep. You could face a penalty of up to $591 per day fine for late filings, with a maximum fine up to $10,000 per entity. So for those of you that own multiple entities, could be up to $10,000 per entity if you choose not to file. In cases of willful noncompliance or providing false information, fines can escalate. Generally, a fraudulent filing could be up to $50,000 in filings, and false information or failure to file could also lead up up to 2 years in jail imprisonment, and you could face criminal charges. These penalties highlight the importance of getting your filing done correctly and on time. Be proactive. Don't wait until the last minute. As I've stated in other videos, I anticipate the system could be sluggish toward the end of the year when you're sitting down trying to file these reports. Hope this information is of value to you. I'm doing this series on the Corporate Transparency Act and beneficial ownership filing because I feel not enough people know about this requirement and the deadline by December 31st, 2024. So if you have other business owners who aren't aware of it, please let them know because I think this act this year is going to apply to many small business owners, whether they're aware of it or not. Have a great day. Thank you. Corporate Transparency Act tips for small businesses, or CTA as we've referred to it. Let's go over some tips to make sure you're in full compliance with the Corporate Transparency Act and the beneficial ownership information filing when you sit down to do it. The biggest thing is organize your documents early, gather all required information for each beneficial owner. And as we previously stated, you're going to want to make sure that you have a picture available of the driver's license, ID, or passport to upload. That's something that needs to be uploaded to the FinCEN website. Again, double check everything, make sure all details are accurate and up to date. Small mistakes can lead to penalties, and as we've previously discussed, some of the penalties can be pretty severe in this situation. And then for more complex matters, always consult with your attorney. If you're unsure about anything, it's always a good idea to consult with a professional. Stay ahead of the deadline as we approach the end of the year. Your attorney could have questions from their other clients and be a little overwhelmed this time of year. But certain matters, determining if a certain individual is a beneficial owner, sometimes disclosing them is going to err on the side of caution. Taking these steps hopefully will save you time and reduce stress. And hopefully this will allow you to make your compliance easy, and hope you found some value out of this video series on the Corporate Transparency Act, and feel free to pass on to any business owners that are unaware of these filing requirements because as you can see the penalties for 2024 and noncompliance can be pretty severe. And make it a great day. Hello everyone, welcome to video 9 in this 10-part series. This video we're going to focus on common mistakes to avoid in beneficial ownership reporting. Filing your beneficial ownership report may seem straightforward, but there are several common mistakes that businesses can make. Let's go over them so you can avoid any potential penalties. Incomplete information. Missing details like an owner's full name or ID number is one of the most frequent errors. Double check all fields before submitting. Many of the fields on the online submission are required before you can submit them, but double check them that they're up to date, accurate, and complete. Incorrect beneficial owner identification. Misunderstanding who qualifies as a beneficial owner is another common mistake, especially for complex ownership structures. Late filing. Many businesses underestimate the time needed to gather information and miss the deadline. Plan ahead. Neglecting updates. Remember, if your ownership structure changes or any information on your beneficial owner changes, you must update your report within 30 days, or those same previous penalties that we discussed of $591 per day up to $10,000 will apply. Avoiding these mistakes can save you time, money, and legal headaches. Take the time to ensure that your report's accurate and complete, and make sure to get the report filed by December 31st, 2024. Have a great day. Thank you. As we wrap up this video series, let's highlight the most important things you need to know about the Corporate Transparency Act and beneficial ownership information filing. Whether you're just starting or getting ready to file, these are the key points to keep in mind. Who needs to file? Well, most small businesses, including LLCs and corporations, are required to file. However, certain exceptions do exist, like larger companies with more than 20 full-time employees and 5 million in gross receipts. What information is required? Well, you'll need to provide specific details about each beneficial owner, including their name, date of birth, address, and a government-issued ID number. Accuracy is essential. Deadlines are critical for new entities. BOI reports must be filed within 90 days of formation, and that for the current year, 2024, Entities organized after January 1st, 2025 will revert back to the original rules of 30 days after formation. Missing these deadlines can lead to hefty fines and penalties. Penalties for non-compliance, failure to file, or providing false information can result in fines up to $10,000 or even criminal charges. Stay ahead of the game by filing early and accurately. Ongoing update of BOI filings aren't a one and done process. Remember, if your ownership structure changes, you must update your report within 30 days of the change. The filing process can be complex, especially if your ownership is intricate. Working with your legal advisor will help ensure you meet all the requirements and avoid costly errors. Thank you for joining me in this series. If you have any questions about the CTA or BOI filings, reach out to me. Remember,
Ensure
compliance
compliance,
will help you
avoid penalties.
penalties and
Contact us
avoid
for
errors.
assistance
Have a great
today.